welcome to the channel. In this video, I'm continuing the Scareful story of Larry Ray and the Sarah Lawrence College cult. If you aren't up to date, subscribe to the channel and check out all the previous videos linked down below. Now go get caught up and then join us back here for the latest. For those of you who have been following all along, where we last left off, Claudia was testifying. The U.S. Attorney's Office was mistakenly leaking sealed documents listing high-powered clients Claudia had seen when she was a prostitute, and Larry? Well, Larry was being Larry, desperately trying to control a situation he feels is spinning way out of his control and trying to manipulate everyone around him. For the second time during his trial, he was taken from the courthouse on a stretcher and put into a waiting ambulance. When the trial resumed, Claudia was back on the stand talking about how Larry Ray had taken over her entire life. Larry had convinced her that she owed him money for having wasted his time, worked against him in underhanded ways, and in some instances damaged his property. And we aren't talking that she owed him a couple $1,000s. Claudia completely believed that she basically owed him her entire life and that her life would be spent working to pay him back. To that end, she became a high-paid prostitute and turned over the money she made to Larry. Larry encouraged her to lose weight so she could charge more for her services. He also encouraged her to see as many clients as possible. Claudia testified that on average, she saw 3 to 5 clients a day, every day, for about 4 years. She went on to tell tales of seeing an 85-year-old client, dealing with drug addict clients, clients who were into certain fetishes, and one client who shockingly brought his 1-year-old child to their session. An important part of her testimony was when she talked about her once roommate and friend Isabella and how she had joined with Larry in tormenting her. Isabella has been charged as a co-conspirator with Larry and is being tried separately. So, a bit of a glimpse of things to come, with Claudia testifying that Larry and Isabella were her handlers. Claudia also testified about almost unspeakable abuse. One night at a hotel, Larry and Isabella tortured her for almost the entire evening. She was choked, had her head covered with a pillow and was smothered, was tied to a chair, had water poured over her naked body and then was left by an air conditioner, and was suffocated with a plastic bag being put over her head. There was a break in the torture so that Larry and Isabella could enjoy a dinner of burger and fries. It was these hours of wondering if she was going to die that night that finally got Claudia to wake up to the real danger she was in. She seemed to snap out of her belief that Larry only had her best interest at heart and that he was trying to improve her life. Claudia began looking for a way out and eventually found it with the help of one of her clients. He paid for her getaway, buying her a train ticket out of New York City, paying for hotel rooms, and helping her with living, medical, and legal expenses. Santos, Yalitza, and Felicia's mother testified about Larry's effect on her 3 children and how over the course of a few years she gave her children somewhere in the neighborhood of $150,000 so that they could repay Larry for damage he said that they had caused. She didn't understand why her children were so taken with Larry, nor how it could be even remotely possible that they owed him tens of thousands of dollars. But not wanting to lose contact with her kids, or worse, have them take their own lives as they threatened to do if they didn't get the money, she kept giving it to them until she had no more to give. At that point, she lost contact with her children for 7 long years. Over more days of testimony, the prosecution introduced expert testimony about how cults and manipulation works, and also testimony about where all the money went. Larry spent a lot of the money on his daughter, eating out, expensive clothing, and on domain names. One domain name he wanted to buy but didn't win the auction for was manipulate.com. Maybe that was the universe's way of saying, nope, not today, Satan, not today. On Friday, the prosecution rested, and Larry will get his chance this coming week to defend himself when court is back in session. The big question, of course, is will he take the stand in his own defense? I'm guessing his attorneys are telling him not to, but I'm also guessing that being the man that he is, he relishes the idea of getting up there and explaining himself. People like Larry don't see what they've done as wrong. They are so convinced of their own rightness that they are delusional enough to believe it when they say that they were only trying to help, or they love filling everyone in on how they are in fact the victim of vast conspiracies. Larry, for one, believes that he's been poisoned for years. As it stands right now, Larry's attorneys have been making it sound as though they will only be calling 2 witnesses, neither of whom are Larry. One is a past attorney of Larry's, who Larry claims told him that it would be totally above board to take money that Claudia made as a prostitute in restitution for Claudia having poisoned him. The judge seemed to be having none of it and ruled that Larry and his defense attorneys would not be able to claim that Larry thought what he was doing was legal based on the advice of his previous attorney. Only time will tell if Larry takes the stand or not, so stay tuned, and until next time, stay safe and stay careful.